Hello, welcome to Customer Creations. My name is Nia, and I'm currently going to be doing a brief tutorial for my followers who have been following me on TikTok, which is where I normally do my live videos and teach crochet. Well, we started working on this really cute Chevron iPad mini case. However, we are converting it into a book sleeve. So I originally started one on my TikTok, okay, and it's coming out rather nice. However, I did have a few questions from my viewers, so I'm gonna go ahead and start all over again and try and explain some of the functions we did on live. So to start off with, what I wanted to do was show how I converted. Again, this is not my pattern. This is from Whistle and Ivy, and she does have the instructions here. Okay, and she does show how to make it bigger or smaller, adjusting it according to the device that you want to make it for. Like I said, we are modifying this to turn it into a book sleeve. We're going to follow the pattern and everything exactly as it is. We're just not making it for a iPad device. Instead, it's going to be for a book. So typically what I started was I went ahead and picked the book that I wanted to make the cover for, and I am going to go ahead and make my cover, or my sleeve, because it's really not a cover, it's more like a sleeve. To me, a book cover would probably, go like a regular book cover back in the day. Okay, so I'm thinking that's not going to work, so I'm calling it a book sleeve. And what I did was I went ahead and grabbed my measuring tape and I measured my book. And the way that you want to do it is you want to go ahead and grab it. You're going to go down the middle of the spine. You're going to start right here, the middle of the spine, and you're just going to follow it through this way, and you're going to also do the middle of the pages. So mine comes out to about 6.5. So with that 6.5, I'm going to keep that there. So mine is going to be 6.5, like I previously stated. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start crocheting. I'm going to go ahead and start with my slip stitch, and I am just going to chain until I get to the width or the length of my measuring tape, which we said was 6.5. Having problems. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, 20, 24, and right there is still not enough, okay? And that's 28 right there. And that's more or less. So I'm going to go ahead and make 2 more just to make it a little bit wider. It is, after all, book sleeve, so we have to make sure it fits. So I came up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30 stitches, or 30 chains. Okay, and you can see it's slightly over the 6.5, but that's okay. Actually, it's kind of right to it, but if you stretch it out, it's kind of a little bit more. But we're not going to stretch it out too much, because that stretching is going to happen when we start putting it on the actual book that we want to use it for. Okay, so now that we have the 28, we're going to go ahead and go back to her instructions. Let me go ahead and take this away. Sorry for the glare there. So her instructions state that we are going to go ahead, See, she says work a foundation chain that is slightly wider than your device and is an even number, which is what we did. So then work row 2, adjusting for your original chain count. She doesn't show how to do that, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so I went ahead and did my chain 30, but I wanted y'all to take a look real quick at the pattern here. Okay, so if you take a look and you see, let's see if it'll adjust here for a minute. It says we're going to do chain 2, double crochet 2 together. Oh, sorry about that. You know what? Hold on a minute. I'll be right back. Gotta go get something. Alright, so I'm back. What I did was I went to go get the printed copy. I didn't bring it out previously because I had all this writing all over it, but I just erased everything and just so y'all can see it better. Okay, so what I wanted to show y'all was she has chain 26, and she also did say for us to modify it per our chain count. Okay, according to her instructions, it says here, you can easily size the pattern up or down. To do this, have your device handy, work a foundation chain. This is slightly wider than your device and is an even number. Work row 2, adjusting for your original chain. Okay, chain count. The width of this row should be the exact width of your device, or in this case our book. If it's too wide, count how many extra stitches you have and minus that from your original foundation chain. Okay, so what I did was, mine was chain 30. Remember, we had a chain 30. And you'll see I have this nice graph paper because I like to work with graph paper a lot, especially when it comes to counting and repeat patterns, which in this situation, this is exactly what it is. It's a repeat pattern. Okay, so to calculate the formula, what we're going to want to do is we're going to go ahead and take our chain. So remember, I chain 30. Okay, so here I'm just going to write my chain 30. Okay, I don't know if y'all can see that, but actually let me go ahead and use a heavier marker because you're not going to see that. I wish I had a darker pencil. Maybe I do. I'm having so much technical difficulties today. Okay, so let me go ahead and get that chain 30. Alright, so I had to do a chain 30 for my book. Okay, so there's chain 30. Okay, so when we are working a chevron design, we already know that for the design we are going to go ahead and have what we call ups and downs, or upward points, upward V's and downward points. Okay, so basically what that means is this is considered, well, we're going to be working it this way. Okay, so this is how it's going to start off working. So this is an upward or an inverted V. Okay, and a lot of times you have the regular V. That's if you have more coming in this direction. But right now we're just working with one chevron, so it's just one V. Okay, so the only thing that is not going to change here in this pattern is we're definitely going to have to do the double crochet 2 togethers both at the beginning, at the end of each. Okay, and then we are definitely going to have to do the 3 double crochet in the middle. Okay, so the way to work out the formula to figure out what we're going to need, the only thing we have to figure out is this portion here. Double crochet 10, double crochet 10, and the single crochet 10 and the single crochet 10. Okay, because we always want these 3 double crochets to be exactly in the middle. Okay, these 3 double crochets or the 3 single crochets, this is your center point. Okay, we always want them here. And then of course we already know that we're going to have to work our double crochets together or our single crochets together at the end of our work, the beginning and the end of our work. Okay, so these are never going to change. The only thing that's going to have to change is how many times you double crochet in between the center point and the beginning and the center point and the end. Okay, because we are increasing the width. That's all that's going to change. Okay, so the way that we figure that out is you're going to count. Okay, so we have double crochet 2 together. That is considered 1 stitch. The 3 double crochet is considered 3. So 1 plus 3 is 4. And then again we have another double crochet 2 together, which is 1. That makes 5 stitches. Okay, so those, out of all our work, the only thing we don't have to worry about are these 5 stitches here, okay, which is the beginning, the middle, and the end. Okay, so that's 5 stitches. You're going to go ahead and take your chain count, okay, but remember, if you look at this pattern, we have to start in the second chain from the hook, so that's going to deduct 1 away. So instead of 26, when we finish doing row 1, we're only going to have 25. Or in my case, instead of 30, when we finish row 1, I'm only going to have 29 stitches or chains. Okay? So now that we found that out, all we have to do is take 29. We're going to take away those 5 stitches that we don't need to worry about, which is the double crochet 2 together in the beginning, the 3 in 1 stitch in the middle, and then the double crochet 2 together in the end. So that makes 5, right? So 29 minus 5 equals 24. Okay, so we need to figure out, because we have 24, but remember we have 2 sides. Okay, we have 2 sides. We have this side and we have this side, so we're going to have to take those remaining stitches after we took away those 5 and divide that by 2, and that gives us 12. Okay, so for this pattern, for our size of book sleeve that we want, we're going to have to replace these double crochet 10, which she has for 26, or actually 25. We have to replace these and make those our double crochets 12s, or mine. Okay, so for example, let's just say, we're going to do it again. Let's just say for your book you had to do a chain 40. Okay, that meant that was a little bit more wider than your book, right? So for round 1, because we are starting in the second chain from the hook, you're going to end up with 39 stitches or chains. Well, actually stitches, because we were making single crochets when we're doing round 1. Okay, so then if we have 39, because this is what we're starting with, we have 39 stitches. We're going to take away those 5 that we don't need. Remember, again, the 5 that we don't need are going to be your double crochet 2 together, which is 1 stitch. Even though it says 2 together, 2, you're putting them together, so 2 put together makes 1. Okay, so you're going to have 1. Then you're going to always have the 3 in the middle, so that's 3 plus 1 is 4. Then you're always going to have again the double crochet 2 made into 1 stitch, so that's 3, 4, 5. Okay, those are the only 5 you don't have to worry about. So 39 minus 5 equals 34. So now we're going to have to divide that by 2, because again we have 2 sides. This is a chevron, we have 2 sides, right? So 34 divided by 2 equals 17. So that means for a chain of 40 with the 39 stitches, your double crochets is going to be 17. Okay, wherever you see these 10, even the single crochets, it's all going to, these 2 are going to be whatever number you calculated. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Alright, so now that we have that said, I'm going to go ahead now. My graph paper will come into play again a little bit later, and I'll show you in a second why. Okay, so since we already figured out the math, so I'm going to go ahead and do my single crochet in the second chain from the hook. Oh, excuse me. So skip that one. Here's my second one. So there's 1. Here's 2. Here's 3. Here's 4. And I'm not going to keep counting all the way. You just can. So I'm going to keep doing this until I get to the end. We're making 1 single crochet in each stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and finish out my row, and we'll meet up back again at the last one. Okay, so I went all the way to my last one, and I have my 29 single crochets. Chain 2. She doesn't say it here, but we have to turn our work, okay? So we're going to turn our work, and now we're going to do row 2. We're going to do chain 2, 1, 2, because we are making double crochets. Okay, whenever we do double crochets, we always do a chain 2. So now here our pattern says 10, but remember, we worked out the calculations. So instead of 10, I'm going to be doing 12. Okay, I'm going to be doing 12 stitches, 12 double crochets, because my chain was wider than hers, so I need to compensate by creating 2 extra double crochets. So I'm going to do 12 double crochets, but here we're going to do double crochet 2 together first. And the way we do those double crochet 2 togethers is you're going to yarn over, you're going to go in that first stitch, bring your yarn back out, okay, you're going to yarn over and go through the first 2. You're going to yarn over again, and now you're going to go into that next stitch, bring some yarn right back out, leave it on our hook, yarn over, and go through both those loops. Now, because we have to finish these double crochets, we're going to yarn over and go through all 3, and we have just made our 3 double crochets, our 2 double crochets together. And that's what they look like. They look like an inverted V. Okay? So here's 2, but in reality it's just 1 because we made them together. So that's our double crochet 2 together. Now we're going to do our double crochet 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, so I made my double crochet 12s. Remember, we changed the number because I had a longer chain than what she originally said. We're adjusting like she said. So now the next stitch, I'm going to go ahead and make 3 double crochets in this next stitch, which this is my next stitch right here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and make 3 double crochets in there. There's 1. I'm not doing them together, they're doing separately. 2, and here is 3. And then again I have to do another double crochet 12. For mine, I have to do a double crochet 12. So let's do those 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oop, I didn't complete that one out. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And I should have 2 stitches left. And I do, 1 and 2. Our last step now is going to do those double crochet 2 together. And again, the way that we're doing them is we're going to yarn over just like we start a regular double crochet, go into our stitch, just working like a regular double crochet. We're following along, but we're going to stop after we go through that first part of that double crochet, those first 2 loops. You're going to yarn over again, you're going to go back in, not back into, you're going into the next stitch, same thing, trying to make a double crochet, yarn over, go through the first 2. Now right here is where you're going to yarn over and go through all 3 loops on your hook. And again, we have just made another double crochet 2 together. It's an inverted V, and we have 1 and 2, but we only have 1 stitch. Okay, 1 and 2, but we only have 1 stitch. That's how we do the double crochet 2 together. Okay, I don't know if y'all can see that. Alright, so moving on, we're going to go ahead and turn our work. So now we're on row 3. Okay, for row 3 we're just going to have to chain 1, because look, now we're doing single crochets. So when we do a single crochet, we have to do a chain 1. Okay, so we're going to single crochet 2 together, just like we had to do double crochet 2 together. For the single crochets, we're just going to go ahead and go into our stitch, bring out some yarn. Oh, no yarning over. Go into our next stitch, bring out that yarn, and now we're just going to go through all 3 loops on our hook, and we've just single crocheted 2 together. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and single crochet 12. Okay, we're not following this, we did our own calculation, so we have to do mine. I have to do single crochet 12. Just like I double crochet 12, now I have to single crochet 12. There's 1, 2, and I'm going to go ahead and do my stitches up until I finish my 12th stitch, and I'll be right back. There's 10, here's 11, and here's 12. Now I'm going to go ahead and do 3 single crochets in our next stitch, which is right here. This is our next stitch right in there. So we're just going to do 3 single crochets in there. There's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. And now again, I'm going to do my single crochet 12 on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, 12 single crochets. We're going to single crochet 2 together again. Okay, so here we go. We're going to go into the next stitch, bring out some yarn just like we would make a single crochet, go into the next stitch, bring that out again. Now yarn over and go through all 3 loops, and you've just single crochet 2 together. So we are done with row 2. Okay, I'm sorry, we are done with row 3. So if you look here, row 4 and 5 tells us Four and 5 says repeat rows 2 and 3. So for row 4, we're going to follow row 2. For row 5, we're going to do row 3. And let me show you what I do when I have to do this. Okay, so let me get, this is why I like my graph paper, because now we're going to start with row 4. Here's row 4, row 5. Okay, so row 4 is row 2, row 5 is row 3. Okay, so that keeps me on track. Okay, and it is a repeat pattern, and again, this is a very beginner for beginner crocheters, so they can, you know, be able to work this seamlessly, I'm hoping. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and turn my work. So row 4, I need to repeat row 2. So row 2, I'm going to go ahead and single crochet 2 together after I do my chain 2, because we're working double crochets. We're going to do double crochet 2 together, and again, the way that you do that is you're going to yarn over, go into that first stitch, bring some yarn out, yarn over, and go to the first 2. We're not going to finish that double crochet, we're going to stop right there. We're going to yarn over again, go into our next stitch. Again, pretend like we're making that single double crochet, but we're not going to finish it. So we're going to go through the first 2, and we're going to stop. We have 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over, go through all 3 loops, and then you just completed out those double crochets. Okay, So there are 2 made into 1, single crochet 2 together. I'm sorry, double crochet 2 together. I need to put a ruler or something. Double crochet 2 together. And again, so again, now we have to do that double crochet 12 again. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now that I have my 12 doubles, I need to do those 3 double crochets in this next stitch here. See, 3 double crochet in next stitch. So we have 1, 2, and 3. Okay, again we're going to do 12 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Last thing we're going to do is double crochet 2 together. Again, yarn over like you're making your double crochet, go into that stitch, go everything for the first part of that double, and that's it. Stop. Yarn over, go into the next stitch. Okay, do like you're making that double crochet, make that first part and stop. Yarn over now and go through all 3 loops on our hook, and you've just did those double crochet 2 together. And here you can see that the chevron is starting to take shape. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and finish out this last row here, and then I'm going to show you what I do for the rest of the pattern on paper. I won't go through it, I will just go ahead and talk you through it. So row 5 is going to be row 3. So again, we're going to chain 1, single crochet 2 together. So insert your hook, bring out some yarn, leave it on the hook, insert your hook, bring out in the next stitch, bring out some yarn, leave it on the hook, yarn over and go through all 3, and that is single crocheting 2 together. So now we're going to go ahead and do 12 single crochets, or if you worked out your number, you're going to follow your number, whatever your number is. Mine is 12, and that's why I keep saying 12. Okay, if you had another number that you need to do, you do your number. Okay, that should be my 12, but let me go back and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So in this middle one right here, the next stitch, we're going to go ahead and do 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, and then 12 more double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So now we're going to go ahead and finish it out with single crochet 2 together. So you're going to go ahead, insert your hook in that next stitch, bring out some yarn and leave it on the hook, insert your hook in that last stitch, bring some yarn out, leave it on the hook, and now we're going to complete those double crochets by going through all 3 loops, and we are done. So we've just completed 4 rounds of this pattern. Again, I'll be right